Okay, back to the table. I had to take a break for a little while. I had other things I had to do. So again, I have two sets of braces or supports that I have to get on the table. And then I have four legs. So my objective here is to get these legs set up with the braces on. And I look at the two different braces, and this set right here, I got this one pretty close to right. They fit together very well. It's nice and flat across here, so that'll make a better support for the tabletop. So this will be the pieces that I'm putting together to support this tabletop. So what I'm going to do is use some glue, some wood glue, and because it's on the end grain, I use quite a bit of glue. And what I'm going to do with the glue is actually spread it out across here and then also go up on the back edge so that it will bond on all edges that are making contact. To get the glue spread around pretty good, get the back side pretty good. And I don't know if you saw how much glue I put on there, but it looks like I put a very thin layer now, but because it's end grain, it actually is going to soak up quite a bit. Now, I know a lot of people will put it on the end grain pretty thin, let it sit for a minute or two to dry, and then they'll come back and they'll put some more glue on it to actually give it that better seal. But I'm not going to do that. There's not much weight to this. There won't be any movement to it. So all I really needed to do is just hold the two pieces together without much stress involved. So I'm just going to go pretty light with the glue. Do the same thing on the other leg that's going to be attached to this. And up on the back side as well. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to have the rounded edges facing down towards the ground so that they're not rounded edges where the tabletop is going to be connecting. And I'm going to stick it on here. And then we're going to stick it on here. And what I'm trying to do is just make sure that the edges are lined up. And I don't need any clamping or anything because, again, I've got a nice solid base that I'm working on. And I'm using my brad nailer with, these are 1-inch nails. So really all the brad nail is going to do is to hold these two pieces together. One thing you'll make sure to do with the brad nailer is keep your fingers out of the way. So there's one on that side. Make sure everything is nice and lined up still. All my corners are nice and even. My back is touching like I want it to touch. Second one, no fingers in the way. Move to the other side. Make sure everything lines up nicely. Okay, that's one set of legs assembled. Got a little bit of glue leak. So what you want to do is take a damp cloth and wipe this off. I don't have one with me right now. So I'm just going to take a paper towel and wipe this off. The reason you want a damp cloth is the damp cloth will actually remove the glue better. And that makes a difference when you're staining the legs because the wood glue will not take stain. So what I'm going to do here is go to the edge on the outside. I'm just going to put one through that way to hold this upright up against it until the glue has a chance to settle. Once it sets and the bond is made, that brad nail doesn't actually do anything. It's really just basically just a clamp I'm putting in place there. So one set of legs made. Move that out of the way. The next one, you have to make sure that your channel is facing the correct way. So this one, the channel has to face down. Other than that, the process is the same. Glue and glue. So right now, I am actually doing the assembly in my workshop because that's where my nail gun is set up. My workshop, I don't know if you saw the earlier videos or not, but my workshop is just an uninsulated metal shed. I am in Southern Virginia, so it is now June, which means it's pretty hot. I'm thinking that my shed right now is somewhere around the 100-degree mark, so I will not be in here very long. So again, once you have the glue on, get everything lined up nice and neat. You want the edges to match. You want the back of the leg, the extra piece of the leg, to actually be in contact with the cross member. Catch that glue before it runs all the way down. Might have overdone it a bit on this one. So again, get everything lined up where we want it to be. Nice and straight and centered. And just throw a couple of nails in there to hold it until the glue dries. And repeat opposite side. All right. Clean up the glue. First set of legs that we made. Want to dribble some glue in here. That's all that's going to hold this together is going to be the glue. I don't have any nails short enough to put in this to, yeah, I don't have any nails small enough. Anything I've got is going to go all the way through the wood. So the center part is just going to be glue and friction. Get that glue around. On this one, you make sure that you get the glue all the way in here so that every contact surface is going to glue itself to the other contact surface. And I'm going to turn this upside down, and whatever glue is left on my brush, I'm going to go ahead and get it over here. All right, so let's get this here. Get that to go in the hole. Just like that. Just like that. And what I'll do for here is I have this lovely clamp. It's a ratcheting box clamp. It's a little bit expensive. I think it was $30-some for this one clamp. But this clamp will help with anything that you're doing that's a box. Any kind of box, whatever shape it is, doesn't really matter. It has these plastic shoes on it. They go on a corner surface. Then the clamped part goes on a corner surface. All right, there we go. So now what I want to do is I want to try to make sure that I put these on opposing corners the best that I can, just to try to hold it in. And I want to put it up where the glue is at, where the joint is at, because that's the part that I want to keep squared up. Shorten, shorten, shorten. Isn't that fabulous? So it looks like my brad nails are really holding. All right. I get this set up. I know why all this is going wrong is because I'm in the heat, trying to move too quickly. So I'm going to turn this upside down and see if I can make better progress that way. So this is the reason why you don't want to have your fingers anywhere near the brad nails. That brad nail, instead of going straight down like it was aimed, it actually followed the grain of the wood and came out the side. So if you keep your fingers anywhere close to it, imagine that had come out the side here. If my finger was there, I would have had to stop the video much earlier for different reasons. So getting brad nails out isn't that big of a deal. They're small. They don't have much of a head. So just use a pair of pliers and pull it out. And I'll go ahead and pull out the other one as well, just because I don't want to have to try to force that back through. All right, so both brad nails have been evicted. They're no longer a problem. Put a little bit more glue back on here. All right, let me get these set. Okay. Should have about the right distance to do this now. So this one on here. Okay, so I've got the pressure at the joint on each of these. So that pressure should hold everything in place. I'll flip it back upright. Get my legs straightened out. Use a rubber mallet. Tap that one back into place. That's the one the nails pulled out on. And then I will nail it back into place. Now we let this sit for a while, and once everything has set up on it, need to clamp there. So when you hear people talk about, I never have enough clamps, this is why. Clamps are very necessary on a lot of these projects. This joint in particular, because I'm not using any nails or screws to hold it together. Now, the one thing I don't do is, you didn't see me ratcheting down on the clamp. All it needs to do is push it together enough where it's tight. It doesn't have to be like crushing force. And that's the same thing with this clamp here. I mean, I've got a little bit of play in these lines still. They're not like guitar string tight. So now what I'll do, I'll let this glue set up. If any leaks out over time, I'll go ahead with a small sander and clean that up. So this is the table portion, or the support portion of the table. I hope I got it tall enough. I only did 18 inches in height, and I might have needed to do 20 or even 22, but we'll see once we've got a tabletop in it. If not, it won't take me long to put one together. I've gotten to a point I can do one of these in about 20 minutes now, and this is all just experimentation on my part. But this is where we'll have to stop, and this is part of the process, is I have to let this set long enough for the glue to dry. As hot as it is today, the glue might be dry in 10 minutes. But I'm going to give it an hour or two because I'm going to go mow the grass.